This game was complete. Absolutely amazing game by the Miami Dolphins, offensively and defensively from both sides. Tua played absolutely terrific football, and our defense was able to come up big against a pretty weak New England Patriots team with a future that they're just now talking future at this point. But let us get us into it. This video I don't think should be more than 30 minutes. It's a 3-and-out, and then the Dolphins get their next possession with Achane going up, but they couldn't find anybody with this possession. So the next possession with the New England Patriots is actually a true drive down the field, which would happen 10 minutes and 33 seconds left of the first quarter. Because the other times it was a punt. By the way, it's a first punt in next game. I didn't even go over this last recap, but they didn't even punt at all last week. That's their first punt of the game, which it should have been completed for John Smith, but hey. But this drive though, Drake May, we knew he was going to be a starting QB, and he did not have himself a pretty good game. He does scramble to right for 6 yards. That gives him a second down. Stevenson pals through, Brooks and Boyer, which he is, showboating. But the penalties after they give him the first down, penalties were becoming a factor for New England. First and 15, false start, and then another false start, which would become a second and 16. Gibson goes for 14 yards. Starting to Drake May pass for Gibson for 14 yards. That gives him the first down at the midfield. Drake May then pass complete to Austin Hooper for 11 yards. First and 10, Drake May scrambles for 9 yards. Gibson gives him the first down immediately afterwards. So 6 yards play after that. Gibson then gives him the 4-yard rush. Second and 6, Drake May pass incomplete for Hooper, but there was a hold. There was a clear and obvious hold there by Hooper. Which was it Hooper? Let me see real quick. No, it wasn't Hooper. It was Jacobs. Jacobs with the offensive hold. Hooper was the one that actually got offensive offside. So there was 2 penalties on the New England Patriots. Offsides was declined, but the offensive hold was accepted, and that pushes them back 10 yards. Drake May then passes incomplete for Reese Stevenson. It was a great defensive play. And then third and 16, only 3 yards from Stevenson, which would then give him the 4th and 13. Sly with a 45-yard field goal, and that kick doinked the right post, and it did not go through, and he missed it. And so it remains a 0-0 game to start the game off. It was a doink on the right side of the goalpost. Great. It was a lucky, but it was also very fortunate, because after that, Dolphins take over at their own 35. Tua's pass is short left for Jonnu. He's from FIU, by the way. Got 12 yards out of this one. The next pass was Jalen Waddle's 24-yard catch, which was absolutely awesome. And the next play, Tyreek Hill gets 10 yards. First and 10, Achane didn't get much anything. Second and 10, Tua's pass short middle for John Smith for 7 yards. Third and 3, not huddling. A hard count alert. Tua hard count Jennings for a neutral zone infraction, in which that will give him the first down because it's 3rd and 3. And that sets him up perfectly coming out of the first quarter. Second quarter starts, John Smith with a little bit of rush play for nothing there. Second and goal. Tua's pass was incomplete for Beckham. I mean, you've got to catch that, Beckham. I mean, it was a good play defensively, but man, I've seen Beckham catch some really impossible passes. But it didn't matter, because 3rd and goal, Tua would pass to Jonnu, and he scores easily. Touchdown, Jonnu. All the PATs are good. So Jonnu gets the touchdown. Patriots, the next drive, a 3-and-out. It is a beautiful play by Jordan Brooks for a 6-yard loss rush from Stevenson. And then Drake May gets sacked by Chop Robinson. How about Chop Robinson in this game? Absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Amazing. He was absolutely brilliant in this game. All right, the next possession for the Dolphins, they just keep on rolling. Achane goes up for 7 yards. 2nd and 3. Tua's passing right for Jonnu for another 13 yards. I mean, Jonnu's balling, bro. Achane that goes up for 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Tua's pass short for Jalen Waddle. That will give them a 17-yard play all the way to New England 24. Tua's pass deep right for Achane. That pass was incomplete. Oh, man, so close. It was so close for that touchdown. 2nd and 10. Tua's pass is passing it to Malik Washington for a yard. 3rd and 9. Oh, man, that trickery. Almost. Well, actually, we're almost at that point. Tua's passing it to Waddle for 14 yards. That gives him the first easily, and Waddle was feeling it. 1st and 10 now. Mostert goes up literally nothing. Second and goal. Achane with a nice grab. It's a catch and run touchdown. Dolphins 14-0. 14-0 at this point. Patriots' next drive is another 3 and outs. More penalties. More penalties happen with the Patriots. Another offensive hold. Anthony Walker got hurt with his hamstring. He would not come back for the rest of the game. But I think with him, it's a pretty good. He's an amazing locker room guy. But Anthony Walker, I hope he's okay. So the backup Dobson, I think, is coming in for him, and we'll talk about him in a little later. But Calais Campbell with the huge 19 yard. With the tackle with the 19 yards, but that backs him up with the offensive hold anyway. Anyway, the Dolphins defense stopped them 3 and outs basically. But then the next drive, a 10-play drive. First play is Achane going up for 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Tua's pass incomplete for Julian Hill. That play, that I thought was a fumble initially, but Julian Hill, you have to make that catch. It's an easy catch to make, and you're juggling it. Not good. 3rd and 8. Tua's pass short for Waddle for 15 yards. So that's awesome. 1st and 10. Malik Washington goes up for 2 yards. 2nd and 8, which was timeout by Miami. 2nd and 8. This was that trickery. So basically, he's acting like he's going to throw or give it up. But then a no look behind the flip back to Jalen Wright. He gets 10 yards out of this one. I'm like, oh my God, what a fake by Tua, dude. I mean, he is something incredible. I mean, how is it that he has that awareness? That's why you practice so much. So he gets the first down. 1st and 10. Tua's pass short, deep left for Jalen Waddle. It is a completed catch. There was a defensive hold which was declined. However, did he get full possession of that football? Initially, when I thought the ball had that movement on the grass. Initially, when he was trying to make a possession, but the call stands. The call stands, and the Dolphins had a big play once again. So I'm kind of surprised by that. But even if they did overturn that call, there was a defensive hold. There was a defensive penalty on New England, which they would then accept the penalty. So either way, it doesn't matter because we get a first down anyway. It's just a matter of yardage at this point. But we got 9 extra yards out of this, so I can't complain. Tua's pass short right for Jonnu Smith for 14 yards. I mean, Jonnu is balling. Mind you, he's from FIU. 1st and 10, pass short left for Tyreek Hill for nothing. 2-minute warning comes out. Tua's passing for Jonnu Smith again for 7 yards. 3rd and 3, New England then calls a timeout. 3rd and 3, pass short right for Achane, wide open. You can't get him from there. He scores a touchdown, and it's a 21-0 game. Patriots next drive. I mean, what could I say? Drake May gets sacked. He fumbles the football, but then it was incomplete. But still, amazing effort by Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson was playing great football, folks. He was absolutely dog. Pressuring Drake May. And then there will be a sack after that, again by Chop Robinson and Emmanuel Agba. It's a 5-yard loss, and it became 4th and 20, and also because the false start happened initially. And then Next drive by the Dolphins, Tua's passing left for Waddle for another 29 yards. So we get one more chance to make this more difficult for the Patriots, which would then all the way at the 30, New England's 30 already. Then next play, Tyreek Hill gets a 7-yard catch, no huddling, 2nd and 3, Tua's pass deep right for Tyreek Hill for 20 yards. So we're close. We're all right. We're right at the end zone. Couple of plays later, all of them were incomplete passes. One of them, I thought, Odell Beckham Jr., he definitely should have grabbed one of the footballs. He definitely should have. He really should have grabbed that football, man. And also John and Waddle. It was a tough situation. I really thought they would have got this touchdown for real. But we settled for a field goal, a chip shot 21-yarder, and it would be a halftime score. They take a knee. Halftime score is 24-0, folks. 24-0. We scored 24 points in the second quarter alone. Unfortunately, when we start off with the football, because New England won the toss, they elected to defer. We get the football, Miami won the toss, they elected to defer. Miami gets a football back at the start of the second half. It starts off with a 3-and-out because Tua got sacked by Barrymore. New England's next drive, it all comes up with the defensive play. So Drake May scrambles for 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Stevenson goes up for 2 yards. First penalty of the game for the Miami Dolphins is illegal use of hands from Kader Kohu, which would then give them the first down. New England starts then passing it to Stevenson for 4 yards, but penalty on New England, I guess it evens out, backs them up 10 yards. Stevenson goes up for a yard, 2nd and 19. Drake May passing for Bourne for 10 yards, 3rd and 9, pass for Bourne again for 10 yards. That gives them the first anyway. Great. 1st and 10, no huddling. Drake May passing it for Hunter Henry for 9 yards, 2nd and 1, still no huddling. Gibson gives them the first. Then Drake May passing for Douglas for 7 yards, another penalty. This is an offensive hold, offensive interference, offensive pass interference against Booty. I'm not kidding. Not the booty, the body parts, but Boutte. He gets called for an offensive PI, backs him up 10 more yards. 1st and 20, Drake May passing to Hooper for 3 yards. 2nd and 17, incomplete. 3rd and 17, Bourne didn't get, this was a flea flicker type of play, a trickery, but that pass went nowhere. They couldn't. Stevenson could not catch it. Our defense was all over the place, and New England just settled for a punt. The next drive for the Dolphins, we also have to settle for a punt. It's mostly a running play. Actually, no, I'm not. That's not true. It's more of a passing play. Jalen Wright starts off with nothing there, but the next play he does get 12 more yards. That gives him the first. So Tua's pass for Tyreek Hill for 11 yards. 1st and 10. Pass incomplete for John Smith, but there was some early contact from Duggar, which would then be a defensive pass interference. That gives the Dolphins a first down. Since then, Tua's passing it for Mostert for 3 yards. He gets absolutely blocked by the Patriots corners. That loses 3 yards. 2nd and 13, passing right for Julian Hill. Now he finally makes a play. He gets 8 yards out of this. And Tua's next pass was incomplete. Odell Beckham Jr., you got to make that catch. You have to make that catch. 4th and 5. Yeah, they punt it. New England's next drive. Drake May passing in for Douglas for 27 yards. So that's a good defensive start, was it? 1st and 10, no huddling, scramble. Drake May scrambles for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. Stevenson losing a yard from Sealer and Ramsey. And then 3rd and 3, Drake May gets sacked by Zach Sealer and then fumbles the football, and that's recovered by Jordan Brooks. And he recovers it for 12 yards. A strip fumble sack by Zach Sealer. Nobody really talks about them much because our defense wasn't that great until at this point. It is an amazing play by Zach Sealer, an amazing awareness by Jordan Brooks. So we got 12 yards out of this. And it goes all the way up to New England 25. So a beautiful defensive play by our defense, and and um and the Dolphins, they capitalize. This is what I love to see from the Miami Dolphins. This is what I absolutely adore. Jalen Wright goes over for 2 yards, okay, but the very next play, Tua's passing for Jalen Waddle, and he goes in for a touchdown. I see you, Stephen Ross, the little penguin. 31-0, Dolphins. Incredible. Now, hopefully, they keep this offensive momentum heading into this next game. Unfortunately, the next drive for the New England Patriots, we have to end it. We have to talk about this. So Drake May passing for Douglas for 20 yards. I mean, nothing usual there. Not unusual at this point, I should say. No huddling, pass incomplete for Hunter Henry. 2nd and 10. Gibson goes up for a yard. 39. Drake May pass for Hunter Henry for 16 yards. That ends the third quarter. Fourth quarter starts. Drake May passing to Hooper for 7 yards. 2nd and 3. Drake May gets sacked. Nobody was covering the right side of the field. And Jalen Ramsey comes in and smokes him. It is a 12-yard sack by Jalen Ramsey. 3rd and 15, that pass was incomplete. Then there would be an offensive PI called by Booty. That penalty is declined. 4th and 15, on 4th, they probably should have. At this point, I could look back and say they probably should have accepted that penalty, but that'll just be me nitpicking. But 4th and 15, Drake May finds a wide open Austin Hooper, and he scores, and the Patriots would get on the board, so the Dolphins would not win in a shutout, and it's now 31-7. Dolphins then go on a 3-and-out. I have nothing to say about this one. Patriots next drive, Douglas goes up for a yard. 2nd and 9, Gibson goes up for 3 yards. Not huddling. Drake May passes incomplete. 4th and 6, that pass is incomplete for Bourne, but a penalty on Smith for a defensive pass interference. 1st and 10, incomplete, just to refresh, set it down. 2nd and 10, Drake May pass for Hunter Henry for 6 yards. 3rd and 4, incomplete for Hunter Henry. And then the fourth down, they elected to go for it. And then that pass was also incomplete. It starts off at their 37. Not bad. Now, Skylar Thompson comes in. Tua's out because you want to rest your quarterback, and then you feel like you have this in the bag. So Skylar Thompson's in at quarterback. He gets it to Jalen Wright, 3 yards. Okay, pretty nice. 2nd and 7, fumble. Horrible handoff to Jalen Wright. And first off, when you practice a handoff, you have to make sure you have complete possession. Otherwise, that could happen. Jalen Wright didn't have a full possession of the football, and it's mainly due to Skylar Thompson giving it to him pretty high up in his chest. And it was recovered by Mapu fumbles. Mapu gives him the fumble, and it was recovered by Gonzalez, and Gonzalez was gone. Skylar Thompson is not the answer. I think he's a bad quarterback at this point. I think he should be gone, for real. Oh my goodness. You fuck up as simple as a handoff. They go for 2. They pass it to Stevenson, and a little bit of a trickery. They pass it to Booty, and then Booty would do a lateral to Stevenson, and he scores. A little trickery. So then Skylar Thompson is out, and then Tua is back in. What a shit show. And this drive ends in a punt. So Tua's passing it to John Smith for 9 yards. Okay, great. 2nd and 1, penalty. There'll be a penalty on Malik Washington for illegal motion, so they backed him up a few yards. But 2nd and 5, John Smith catches a 7-yard football. Great. Then Achane goes up for nothing. Tua's passing it to Waddle for 3 yards. And 3rd and 7, scrambling to the left. He's trying to find someone. And then Schooler sacks Tua for 7 yards. And then there'll be an offensive holding from the Dolphins. Penalty declined. They punted the football. Drake May passing it down the field for Hunter Henry for 7 yards. No huddle. Bourne with the 10-yard catch. 1st and 10. Drake May passes incomplete for Booty. 2nd and 10. Pass was intended for Gibson. It was tipped, and it was picked off by Dodson. And Dobson was the one that replaces Anthony Walker from his injury. That is significant there. And Dobson picks off Drake May, and the Dolphins got away with it. They got away with the football, and they started at the 46. Great interception by Dodson. So HN after that, do they capitalize on this? Sure. So HN goes up for 9 yards, 2nd and 1. Tua's pass for Durham Smythe for 8 yards. We don't talk much about Durham Smythe no more because we always talk about John, who is at the tight end. HN loses a yard from Duckers, 2nd and 11 after the New England timeout. Tua's pass incomplete. 3rd and 11 pass. Mostert goes up for 5 yards. Timeout New England. Jason Sanders kicks a 51-yard field goal, and it's good. It's a 34-15 game at this point. What does the defense do for the Dolphins in the next drive? So Drake May passing it for Hasty for a yard. 2nd and 9. Hasty goes up for 15 yards. 1st and 10. May is incomplete for Polk. 2nd and 10. Pass complete for Douglas for 8 yards. 3rd and 2. Losing a yard is Hasty. Great tackle by Javon Holland. 2-minute warning. 4th and 3. Passing it to Douglas. And Bowser and Kohu was right there to bring him down. And turnover on downs. And the Dolphins could take the knee. Tua takes the knee all 3 times. And the clock hits 0. And the final score is 34-15 for the Miami Dolphins, winning their third straight game. This is the type of Miami Dolphins that we were expecting all season long. Now, the big question is, can they keep this momentum heading into Thanksgiving? Because guess who is our next opponent for our Thanksgiving matchup on Thursday night? If you guess the Green Bay Packers, I would say you're absolutely right. We got the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. Do we have enough to beat the Green Bay Packers, especially at Lambeau? Now, I want to talk about this really quickly because it may have some significance with this game on Thursday. Now, it's Thanksgiving, so I'm obviously gonna do a preview. Green Bay, Wisconsin, Thursday, 34 degrees. By the time the game time, it will probably be approximately in late 20s. So it's going to be a cold game. But as far as I see, still pretty early on, but no snow. Now, initially, I thought there would be snow heading to this game, but it turns out there is no snow heading to this game. It's just going to be a cold game. How can the Dolphins adapt for this? I hope they figure this out. Now, in terms of the quarterback stats, Tua with 4 touchdown passes, 317 yards in passing, while Drake May with just 222 and an interception. I thought Achane played great football, minus the 32 yards, but he does get a couple of touchdowns. He does get a couple of touchdowns from the receiving ends. So he doesn't have a rushing touchdown, but he does have a receiving touchdown. He has 2 of them. So he can do both, which is absolutely amazing. And then Jalen Waddle, and then Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is from FIU. I'll say that again. All right. I think Jonnu Smith might be our tight end 1, if I'm being honest here. I think we finally found our tight end. So, in our defense, they definitely did the part. They only gave up... Actually, no, the defense only gave... What is it? The defense? Yeah, the defense only gave up 7 points. Our offense gave up... Actually, no. They gave up 9 points. What was it? Yeah, 9 points because of 2-point conversion. But it is what it is. And then the other one was a fumble, strip fumble, and then fumble 6, and you know what I mean. But yeah, for the most part, our defense did their part. Although our punting team only punted the football 5 times. But either way, guys, that's going to do it for this one. If you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for content. Because Miami TG has your back. And when he does, hit it right there with the entertainment you deserve. Miami Dolphins, once again, sweep the New England Patriots in the season. It's always good to beat our division rival, especially against the New England Patriots. And One more note. One more note before I wrap this up. With this win, we are now 5-6. We're still in second in AFC East. Big deal. But also, too, the Colts lost to the Detroit Lions, so now we are ahead of the Indianapolis Colts for now. We shall see what happens on Thursday. But we're also keeping an eye on the Denver Broncos game, and we also got to keep an eye on the Monday night game between the Ravens and the Chargers, a hardball ball. So those are the significance to try to get us into the playoff spot on a pretty wild run to get back to the playoffs. So maybe the Dolphins are not out quite yet, as I hope, but still, I'm worried what Chris Carter might do, because he was going to trade Calais Campbell, but Mike McDaniel said no, we're going to keep him here because he believes that the Dolphins will make this run, and then we can make it to the playoffs. At this time of recording, the Raiders lead the Broncos 7-3 in the second quarter. Let's hope the Raiders beat the Broncos. That way we have a much better chance of making it to the playoffs. I don't like the idea of having teams help us, because I personally want to get us there on our own. But we'll see what happens. If we make it to the playoffs, absolutely. I'll be happy enough that we made it to the playoffs. That's all I'm asking at this point. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good night.